right, so check this out. Check this out. This is, so I finally got, so here's some code. This code is all public, so I'm gonna put it on the GitHub in a second. But this updates two files. I've got a training and a tuning or validation file. I didn't have that before, so I'm specifying both. And I'm trying to play with the Q there, yada yada yada. But now we're going to use this, and we're going to talk about the 1960s basic assembly. And let's just give it another one. So we've got an example. Let's give it an example. We'll do a subtract this time. To subtract two numbers. And this is just, you know, in this case, the data is very simple, okay? But let's see what he does. All right, we're not telling it how to put stuff in code comments or anything, but there we go. So here's an example how to subtract two numbers in BAL assembly. Loading the first one, subtracting. These are the fields that it's using. Yada, yada, yada. And it's putting it, it's not putting it, so let's come up here. And let's Control C, oops. Control C, Control V. And providing an example how to subtract two numbers in BAL assembly. Use markdown to denote the actual code sections. Code section. There we go. I don't like how it's putting the assembly there, but at least this is doing that. Alright, so that said, that's that. Over here, I don't know how to delete models, but this was probably the first one, so successful. And these were like junk. These were just like the sample stuff, right? How to do the samples. But this one shows the test and validation files. I don't know if they look kind of bouncy to me. I don't know if that's good or bad. If anybody has a comment on it, what these should look like, let me know. Here is one that I did. I think it's like the default's maybe around 100 for how many steps, but you can see the error, 0.5 versus this guy. This guy is like tight, 0.5, and they gave like incredibly bad results. Got to keep hitting the buttons to find the API, but I thought maybe it's back over here. So this is the playground, right? So one thing I don't understand about this is okay, so here's the deal. I can pick the models that I've tuned, right? So I can do that. And I can say, I want to use this format, provide info. And I was hoping it was going to give me more data than this, because I literally gave it more info about the column headings. And in this question, I'm telling it, you know, how to put the prompts in. I'm saying brief, markdown, don't show any standard entry and exit. But I actually updated this to say code comments and commentary. Maybe this one is this one, and I didn't really reflow it. But at least the columns look correct. So let's just say this. Can you show using comments. The ruler for operation settings, I can't remember what I would call it, for operand, label, and code continuation character. Let's see. Let's see what that does. That's interesting. Maybe you count it over and that would be the label and this would be the opcode. Let's see if we can render what this is. Let's see. Not quite. I gotta work on that stuff. But what I was trying to, so the data that I was giving would look something like this. So that's a register to register. Alright, so whatever. So we made it, dude, it's much better than it was. And it's actually pretty good. So let's just give it a, we'll put it on default. Let's put it up here. And let's ask, can you show me how to divide, let's divide one that I did, let's see, one that I did. Well, this is not going to be tuned, but I want to be able to switch it back. I don't really have a lot of data. So we did a subtract and add and a logical and. Can you show me how to logical and two registers? Assume the data is already, this is a trivial question, right? Assume the data is already in the registers. And show how to store the sum, show the result in storage. See what that does. Now this is using the stock, right? So that should be in R, I believe, for you're loading the register and you're already there. If the store part is right, it looks like the column stuff is off. Let's try to do it with the one that we tuned today, which doesn't have a lot of data. And no problem, didn't do it at all. Let's save this. Save this. Let's see if we can clear it. I don't want to show feedback. That's another thing. I have a hard time with resetting the chat. Don't know how to read. Okay, let's just do this. Maybe that's how you delete it. Is it actually deleting? The subtraction is done. So that clears the context and makes sure we don't have any stuff in. Submit that. How to logical and two registers. Assume the data is already in the registers. Show how to store the result in storage. My columns are off again. But he's not loading the register. That looks reasonable. Alright, so whatever. So anyways, let me show you this other thing. This is, so over here, I loaded a file. Where is it? I loaded a huge PDF, and so I'm trying to do kind of that RAG stuff, right? If you saw the dev day they did this week, where you have the 4 quadrants. So like you start off with prompt and you fine tune to go that way, and then you go up to do the RAG, and then you really want to do the combination, and up here is where you get the best results. So I created an assistant. Let's change this. Okay, so because I loaded a PDF and it was in high level assembly, I did that. I put the code interpreter just to see it. We'll try that as well. And since the PDF is in it's not BAL, right? But you can do this. You can test, and you'll get some. See what this guy does. Now notice he's got the whole PDF. Not good. But I also don't know. Let's try to rerun it again. I don't know if you need to say using the attached file. Maybe. Try it. We have the code interpreter. I know, like if you're in the the chat thing, like the chat, literally Chat GPT, it will show the quote section where you can like go to the code and you can edit it, and you can literally like repaste the code and stuff. But you're not gonna be able to do that with this assembler. But we've got that other guy's got the open source Python assembler and emulator, so you might be able to do something there. This is really taking a long time. Anyway, no, it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna come back anytime soon. Still don't know. Like I said, I can attach a file, but if I come over here, I can't. If I go to show more models, I can't see the tuned models. And if I go back to the chat, if I'm over here, I can't add a file. So I don't really know. Don't know much about how that works yet.